BTC at 103, but things are a little bit choppy out there, especially the altcoin traders. So guys, is there going to be a plot twist here? Are they going to send us straight up and surprise everybody, or is there a bigger plan for the downside coming? So guys, I'm going to give you my strategy today. I'm going to talk about BTC, and I've got tons of alts that are looking amazing on some lower time frame, but the higher time frame is telling us there's trouble below. So much to talk about here. Let's get right into it. And remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, and hit the subscribe. Now, Mr. 𝗏𝗏𝗟𝗏 is back, and he's definitely bullish.
Bullish as hell.
Repeat what you said.
We don't know if we're going up, down, sideways. Have no friggin' idea. Everybody's going both directions, and it just won't pick one. Do something already.
I'll tell you what's going on, and this is for James, and this is for everybody watching. What I've just picked up, obviously, now today is lower time frame, 30 minutes, 1 hour. We got bullish divergence, we got reversal, so there could be some short-term little pumps on the cards for some of these altcoins. The bigger stuff looking a bit dodgy to me at the moment. So I'm contemplating taking a 𝗬𝗏 long live here with you guys, because it is on a good zone. So we're going to look at that one quickly. Guys, let me know in the chat. So we're going to go to zero together, shall we? Let me know if you guys are keen, and then James will let me know if we're going to push buttons there on 𝗬𝗏. Now, SOL ecosystem is part of the flavor at the moment. We've seen SOL breaking the 200-day moving average. That's nice and strong. I spoke to you guys about Jupe yesterday and things like that, and you can see Radium is now doing well as well. So time for SOL ecosystem things. I mean, we have seen strength, obviously, in some of those meme coins as well. Then overall, look, I'd say it's a mixed day. I was looking at the liquidations there, and we're only about 400 million at the moment, but it's pretty choppy out there. Let me know in the chats how it's going for you guys. How's the breakout tradings going today, guys? A little bit of up, a little bit of down. Anybody got caught in a bit of chop there today? Let us know. Mark says play the range. He's 100% correct. Neaton says 106K, and PMG George says overdue bullback. Look, guys, I feel like we need that bullback, but is it too easy? Is it too simple to wait for these lower dips and then grab these buys? I'm a little bit concerned myself. So what we're watching here is BTC on the 1 hour time frame, and you can see we've been playing a little bit of ping pong today, and the levels that I dropped in hackers earlier today have really been responding pretty well, to say the least. Yeah, we've had decent bounces. 102,800 this morning. That was a little liquidation grab that we were looking for. Then a nice push up. And what did they give us? A typical 618 rejection there for BTC. And we said, yeah, possible short-term reversal zones. And there they go. They send it back down to the downside. Now, interesting things here for me is we're seeing lower time frame, and it's a lot of the same with some of these altcoins. In fact, the altcoins look a little bit better, but we are in reversal points here on some of these things, so we might be getting some short-term buys. But is it going to be another one of those where we get a little breakout that's actually a fake out and then you get ended? Now, I'll tell you what, I tried to take a peppy breakout trade earlier today. It went up a little bit and then it came back and it flashed me out. So we in one of those phases here. Yeah, Griffin chopped Neaton up. We're in one of those phases now where I was saying yesterday, at some point you get to the stage where the breakouts stop working, and then you start getting frustrated and you start saying, well, why isn't it happening and whatever. And then we realize we really need to just dial things down and get our foot off the gas. And my big message to hackers earlier today, and obviously to all of you now in this afternoon show, is let's just be measured here. If you see the breakouts, play one or two. Just don't overdo it. Yesterday was a super easy trading day. It was C candle, push buttons, make money. It was very simple. Back today, now we've had a little bit of a pullback, and now the breakouts, they're struggling a little bit. So I'm gonna take you guys through a few of those. BMG, he was forced to cut it off, and basically now, I'm digressing, but basically getting back to BTC levels here, these are the ones that you can play with now, a little bit of ping pong leading into tomorrow. So our first level, 102,800, that makes sense to me. Then we've got our upside marker. That was our 618 rejection. So it could quite easily come here and get a wick fill now later on, something like that, bang. And that would be 104, which makes a lot of sense to me. Then we've got levels higher up that are still pretty spicy in terms of where BTC can go, and that is 105K, and then this wick fill to the upside. Look at that. We've got this beautiful unattended wick there, and that can take us all the way to where Nitan said 106K. So that is actually on the table for us. Now, in terms of short-term alts, before we get into some news and things like that, I just want to show you what I'm picking up here leading into the show. And I see Carl is in the house as well. We've got 30 minutes on things like 𝗬𝗰. Look at that bullish divergence print. Bullish divergence print. We've got the blue dot reversal print here on the short-term time frames. And the last time we saw things like that, we did have a move up. And this is now applicable to a lot of these altcoins. So we might be getting a little push up here on something like 𝗬𝗰 and obviously on a lot of these other alts at the moment. But is it sustainable? That is my question. And are they just going to come back and end us? So what you're going to see today is a couple of short-term setups that we're going to look at now, and then I'm going to show you the bigger picture stuff that we might need to be prepped for in case there is if there's no plot twist here and they basically do exactly what they are threatening to do. So let's get into what is happening out there at the moment. And just remember, if you were part of the liquidations now in the last couple of minutes, you're not broke, you're just pre-rich, and just take your foot off the gas a little bit here. I do feel like this sometimes, like after I got stopped out of Pepe earlier. And my gold trade, guys, I'm going to take you through gold. I've seen someone hug me. Can somebody hug me when I get stopped out? I mean, don't you feel like you need that some days? Huh?
Some days. Every day. Lately.
Lately a lot. Okay, well, guys, let's look at the lickies here. $406 million, which is actually less than yesterday. Now, yesterday was quite a fun trading day. I think we had an absolute blast there. We made tons of money yesterday, and we caught tons of breakouts there. But 400 million liquidations today, slightly lower than where we were yesterday, which for me is quite surprising considering the big dump that we just had on some of these altcoins. Now, Crypto B says, Jim Cramer, I can't believe some people on the internet think Bitcoin will go over $200,000 this year. It's not going to happen. It's just not. I actually think he's right. I'm just saying, I think Cramer is actually right this time. Maybe not 200 this year, maybe another time. But I think we're going to save this video, okay? But I think for the first time ever, Cramer might actually be right. So let's remember this, James. We in May, 14th of May, talking about this thing. Let's see if we hit that 200K BTC. I mean, it would be quite pleasing, wouldn't it? Now, Trump is back on his trumpet, basically. No inflation. Prices are down across the board. It's time for the Fed to cut rates like Europe and China. He says too late Powell is hurting America's chance to blossom. Okay, so he's still going on about Jerome. Jerome's not doing what he wants him to do at the moment, but he's confident. He's super confident that the stock market is going to be going a lot higher. Is it too soft?
Yeah, we need volume.
Yeah, it's not getting louder. Anyway, Uncle Donald says it's going higher. Okay, basically that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know from Uncle Donald. But Finance a Lot is giving us a realistic view here, and he's giving us a higher low essentially on the S&P. So he's saying we're pretty much close to some kind of reversal here on the S&P 500. So he's saying we're nearly at 6K, and this is pretty much in line with what I've been looking at. But for me personally, I do want to see a push into all-time highs here on the S&P. I do want to see a push into all-time highs on Bitcoin, and then maybe they can come and give us some massive reversal to the downside. So right now for me, S&P, we haven't got the max divergence just yet. I am still waiting for this to play out for us. So no rush here. I don't think we're going to reverse at a random level. For me, it's got to be this all-time high. So I'm watching 6,060 up to about 6,150. Somewhere in that region is making sense to me. And then I've just highlighted here, big support for later on. And we'll have to play it by ear. We'll see as we go as this thing falls over. But the first zone is obviously going to be that type of region there. And then Finance a Lot is talking about a higher low. And you're probably going to find it's going to be a 618 or something, tying in with some decent levels there. Look at that little banger there, 5,060. That could make sense as well for us. And Jason says smash. He says smash the likes. Imagine you smash the likes as well and you smash them. Can we see that message again? Did I misread that or what? There it is. Smash the likes, guys. And if you want, you can also smash them. Okay, so do this.
Treat the like button like Michael Jackson. Just beat it.
Okay, let's go. And nearly 50% of fund managers say gold is overvalued the most in history. I think we don't need to be a scientist to understand that. I mean, gold is absolutely pumping at the moment. And I've got stopped out of my gold. My first gold long, which was here in that region. So what I was looking for was weakness in gold and strength in the stock market. That's exactly what they gave us. They gave us that beautiful push down. Then I was looking for some kind of scary macro news somewhere here for a little gold push, or alternatively, some scary macro news for a gold push in that region over there. So right now I've taken that, I've taken the L on gold, and now we are dropping into 50-day MA, anchored VWAP, 618, rising trend, horizontals. For me, banger coming up, okay? Gold banger on BTCC coming up. I'm looking for this reversal here on the 8-hour. We are very close to some kind of gold reversal. I'm expecting something to be happening here. And then you can see the last time we had a reversal was there, bang, okay? And that's the type of swing long I'm looking for there, Jason. Bring that message up again, you filthy DJ, you. And yeah, he shorted gold, but these guys are animals, okay? If you want to play with animals, okay? If you want to play with animals.
I did a 10x on that gold trade. Everybody got a 10x on that friggin' thing while I was sleeping. You
go play with the animals, okay? You talking to me, I'm giving you swing longs and these beautiful things for gold. If you want to go play with degens, go to hackers, okay? Go hang out there, fine, okay? And this is where I'm looking now for my next gold long, 3,150, somewhere in this region, down to say, realistically, anything down to about 3,100. This type of box here for me, and all I'm doing is trying to get the swing going, and I'm trying to tie it in with a reversal. Look what happened the last 2 times we got reversal prints here on the 8-hour on gold. We got nice swing moves. Okay, so I'm literally just using that process here, nothing too sophisticated, and looking for that reversal that most likely gets tied in with a stock market reversal as well. So something interesting there that we can look forward to if we can lock that one in. Okay, so I'm going to do that one on BTCC, so just waiting patiently. And then in terms of Microsoft, I've got 1 order in so far for my short on Microsoft. I am trying to ladder into a Microsoft position. I'm banking on the fact that the S&P reverses at all-time highs, and you're probably going to find things like those tech stocks getting a little bit tired to the upside, and then we're going to get some kind of reversal. So I'm slowly starting to build a short position there on Microsoft after a beautiful pump over the last couple of weeks in the market. Is it time for some kind of reversal? Now, Nvidia is one of these, gets back above its 200-day moving average for the first time since February, and that's good. And that tells us we can start looking a little bit more bullish on Nvidia, but you got to play this one carefully, guys. And I'm not saying you need to short this thing, but we can see we've turned bullish again, and we can see there's a couple of resistance zones to the upside. At some point, we are going to get a red day in the markets. It's literally a matter of time. And sometimes you're going to get a red day or 3 in the markets, and that is where the best opportunities are going to be coming for you guys. So in terms of FOMOing into big, long, thick green candles, not normally my best play. Okay, so let's rather wait for these bleed outs, and then we can catch some nice support buys and nice swing moves on some of these stocks. Nvidia is one of them. So waiting for the pullback. When eventually we get it, we'll start assessing levels. Right now, for me, it's first one is the 200-day MA, 125, and then a little bit lower, we're looking at 116. Okay, so not in any rush here whatsoever. You can see I've hardly traded anything on this BTCC while we're just waiting for these entries to come to us. We don't want to be in a rush for these things. That is how you can get hurt. Okay, and Alexander says, where can I buy the Bullish t-shirt? Guys, I actually got a store. Okay, in fact, we need to add Bearish to the mix. In fact, I think that's a must. Okay, so you can go to my store here. It's 𝗨𝗏𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 shop. Okay, go to my store if you want to bang a shirt or a bullish cap and things like that. Get stuck in. Beard oil coming soon. It's a secret. But that is coming down for you guys. I am working on some other cool shit as well for you guys. Okay, so there is a store if you are interested in that. And then I want to give you guys some free alpha, and I have mentioned this a couple of times. There is a newsletter called The Daily Candle that comes out of Banter, and Chart Hackers, the whole team, every Thursday, it's our day, or it's my day every Thursday, and we drop trade setups and all sorts of alpha for you in the Daily Candle, and it's absolutely free. All you need to do is obviously subscribe to it, and this is what it looks like, and there's going to be a link in the show description for you guys. It's free alpha. Just sign up, subscribe, and then you get these mails every day, and hackers are going to drop you bombs of alpha every Thursday in your mail inbox. Okay, I mean, what more could you want? Okay, and then let's talk. Yes, sir.
We've got some requests in the chats here for V-necks and apparently banana hammocks too. Can you add that to the shop?
banana hammock I can do, and a deep V recovery, guys. It's in the making. They quite hard to find.
The green days.
Those deep V recoveries, they're very tough shirts to get hold of. You know, I'm still looking around for the best suppliers. But in terms of BTC, guys, I did cover this yesterday for you, and my sentiment remains the same. Okay, we've got a bearish divergence print. We know this. Everybody's saying pull back, pull back, pull back. We know this. We get it. And you know, the last time we did get this bearish divergence print was on the 6th of December, and we actually had a pump of 7-8% before the market fell over. Okay, so all I'm using is one example of the past. I'm just giving you what happened last time. And is it you know, ridiculous that too many people are saying there's a pullback? Are we going to get one last hurrah and leave everybody with their underpants around their ankles? That's a question I'm asking. It's not really a statement. Or, you know, is there a plot twist coming here? Now, let's look at the plot twist. If the plot twist happens, you're going to get some hard push out of BTC. Okay, you're going to get some big, deep move, and I'm going to be super cautious here, guys. 108, 109, that is going to be the danger zone. Look out for a wick even to the upside. That could be an amazing short area for us, bearing in mind that we've got monster divergence playing out on the daily. So it could be a final pump, grab some liquidity, and then reverse that and send it down. So keep that on the table if you get a surprise pump out of BTC. Now, in terms of high probability, reasonable bounce zones on a daily chart. Now, remember, if we looked at this thing and this was a 15-minute chart, we'd look at these zones and say, yeah, I mean, that makes obvious sense. Now, because it's a daily, these things take so long to happen. And sometimes, you know, we get a little bit impatient. But if we zoom out and analyze exactly where we are at the moment in the context of this move, 98K, very reasonable for us for BTC. It's a high probability daily bounce zone. So any bleed out here, 98K makes a ton of sense to me. And then 93K, not to scare anybody, but that is on the table. 200-day MA, 382 macro pool here, horizontals, wick fills. We got the whole shebang here in terms of support and bounce zones on BTC. So realistically, we can drop into those levels. We cannot be upset. If we do drop into these zones, just remember, that's a reaction zone. Looking for longs there. This is a reaction zone. Looking for longs there in terms of the bigger plays. Now, we are now in a phase where we've had some core positions that have pumped, and we've closed a lot of those things. Now we've been playing the popcorn game, and we're catching breakouts, and everyone's having a fucking laugh at the moment. But at some point, these breakouts might start failing, okay? And that is where we have to zoom out and go back and start looking at these types of things again and understand where we are in the bigger context and not get too upset with ourselves if things do drop a little bit lower. Okay, so I'm dropping that there for you guys, just planting that seed. Okay, I just want everybody to be on the same page here. Now let's talk liquidations, and let's actually refresh this guy quickly. And I've been tracking the 24-hour today because things have been pretty choppy, and you can see what's going on here at the moment. We've got a nice little band, which is an easy grab for the market makers. 102.400 down to about 101.500 makes a lot of sense here for a little dip into that zone. And then the upside level, 104.500 into 106, exactly where Neaton was actually telling us there. And that takes us straight into that wick fill to the upside. So there's both scenarios on the table here. There's no, there's no right or wrong at the moment in terms of where this thing can go. All we can do is be guided by the information that we have in front of us. And the higher time frame says potentially a bit bearish. Lower time frame says maybe a small little bounce there in the market. Now, in terms of one of the big markers that we can watch is USDT dominance. And this is actually telling us a story over the last couple of days. What we can see here is a very tight cluster in this region, and it means things have been pretty flat from this perspective. So a lot of chopping around and things like that. And we've noticed, something like 𝗬𝗰, for example, has hardly moved over the last couple of days. Something like 𝗬𝗆 has been falling over and things like that. And this is pretty stagnant at the moment while we wait for a move out of the market. Is that going to be a big rush to safety and we're going to get a USDT pump? Or does this mean we unlock one more time and we get this USDT dominance dump? So now we literally are waiting for a little bit of a move here, and we can track this cluster quite nicely. Right now we are below that 200-day MA. So, in all likelihood, I'd like to see this thing drop a little bit lower one more time. And is that going to coincide with Bitcoin at all-time highs and that final pump before we get absolutely wrecked? Okay, PMG George says big positions, small moves. Look, he's not wrong at the moment. That is kind of what's going on. There's a lot of chop floating around the markets at the moment. And another marker for us, and I hope some of you guys did take profits yesterday, because the BTC dominance chart does not lie, okay? And look what happened. We had a beautiful pump yesterday evening. What did we drop into? The alts danger zone, bang, and a little reversal there, and probably some choppage. Now, one of them was quite a big peppy position that I have, a $70,000 odd peppy position. That was probably $6,000 up yesterday, and that one is now flat at the moment, and that is all got to do with this tiny little bounce that we saw in dominance there. So we're going to hang on at the moment, and we're going to look for some kind of reversal in this dominance. Now, what I have highlighted here for you guys is the alts run zones. Now, these are the typical areas where we could look for a dominance rejection. So as you can see, we'd be looking for a push into 62.6. Look for a rejection there. That could help the alts bounce a little bit today, perhaps. Alternatively, if there is more of a push on dominance, we're looking at about 63.4%, give or take, in that region where we can get some kind of alt bounce. Now, remember, as we go into each step, this zone will probably hold your alts in the current support levels that they are sitting on. If dominance runs here, you're probably going to find these alts are dropping to their next levels, and you need to be prepped for those next levels. And Matty says, I took profits, but not enough because I was getting greedy. Guys, it happened to all of us. I mean, whenever there's a sell-off like this afterwards, I always look back and think, fuck, what could I have done differently? What could I have done better? And if you don't have that thought, well done to you guys, because then you are a very, very disturbed individual. Okay, you're not greedy enough. But basically, it always seems to be the case after these things happen, and where you think, sheesh, I could have done this, I could have done that. But guys, as long as the message is, as long as you are banking profits in these runs, as long as you are taking something off the table, remember that money, it's unrealized gains. Literally, it's not realized. So it's not yours until you actually close it. So there's a big difference in that feeling as well. When you actually close it and you take that money out, that's a golden feeling, I must tell you. And it's definitely worth trying if you guys haven't. Now, some of you might be aware that I've got my accelerator course coming, and I've got a special segment for you coming in my trading accelerator course, and it's going to be in workshop 2. So my accelerator course is going live again. I think it's next week. We're going to talk now, but workshop 2, I'm actually going to show you guys how to pass the Bitfunder challenge, or at least how I have passed the Bitfunder challenge, and that is the prop funded trading platform that we use. And you can see I've got 2 funded accounts here, and I've passed the challenges. So what happens with Bitfunded is you get a demo account from them, you get 8% phase 1, you get 5% phase 2, and then they give you real money to trade with. So these are 2 real money accounts that I passed. I actually passed 3, but I got rinsed in one of the sell-offs in one of my accounts, unfortunately. But I'm going to show you guys how I passed that in workshop number 2. It's quite a simple little system that I use. And if you guys want to, they've been kind enough to offer a buy one, get one free for Bitfunded. So if you want to have a go at this thing, if you're buying off the show link in the show description, they're going to give you one for free. Okay, so you're going to get 2 cracks at this thing, and it's any account size. So anything I talk about today, guys, in the show description, click on more, and you're going to find it here for you waiting underneath there for you guys. So take advantage, and that's specifically for my school workshop that is coming in 4 days. Okay, and I see Neaton says, what did he say about hindsight there? And let's see, in hindsight, it seems easy, but at the time, FOMO, it's always the case, guys, as long as you're banking something. Okay, don't be too hard on yourselves, just be better next time. Okay, and it's the same for me every single time. So my accelerator course, guys, 4 days away, and you're going to learn about all the TA that I do for you guys. Now, let's get into some of the shit coins. Here we go. Let's talk ETH. Ash Crypto says, big whales are loading up ETH like never seen before. And Braxis Capital has bought 84.7 million in ETH. And in total, they hold 477. So look, the whales are back. The attention is there. And we can see, I mean, Vitalik's looking quite hot. And a couple of things that have happened to the man in the last couple of weeks. Look at that. Even the shaved chest, freshly shaved chest, like that. And a couple of tats. I mean, the man, he just needs a beard. And then we basically the same guy. Okay, he might have a little bit more ETH than me, though. But in terms of what ETH is doing, ETH on the weekly. And look, so far, the playbook is done. 200-day MA, 0.5 rejection. Okay, now, obviously, we're feeling a little bit more euphoric at the moment. And I know Uncle was buying some ETH the other day, and everybody's getting excited about ETH. James, are you excited about ETH?
No, I don't get excited about ETH. If it goes up, goes down, I don't care. It's just, it's dead to me at this point.
I was hoping you were going to say, yeah, I'm excited, so I could be like, the top is in. But,
I hate
you heard that for me. Okay.
All right. No, I don't touch it.
Okay.
Pepe, however, I can get into.
Yeah, I mean, that's a play. That's a play. Okay, so just finishing on where we are in terms of the playbook. Okay, we actually 2750. I told you guys this is a big zone, and now we actually at that phase where we got to say to ourselves, okay, like if we hanging on here, we literally banking on the fact that it's blowing this, and then we're going to start cooking and we're going to 4K. Like we literally have to have that belief. If we're going to buy these dips now, this is the belief we need to have, that it's going to break the 200-day MA before there is a gargantuan sell-off in the market. Is that possible? I don't know, but I'm long ETH. Okay, I'm going to show you my trade, and I've added a bit to it from yesterday. You absolute degens who longed this thing with me. I mean, that was quite filthy, but now I think we're pretty flat. Okay, so we absolutely longed the top of ETH yesterday. Is it going to be to our detriment? Okay, so let's take a look here. And I've zoomed in on the 8 hour for you guys. Now, the first sign is here. And this is what I was talking about earlier. We've got big bearish divergence prints and reversal prints. So we all agree, okay, higher time frame, a little bit bearish now at the moment. Things are looking a little bit sadder. Now, how do we approach this? If we are typically going to blow through one of these resistance zones, you're typically going to get some kind of short-term bullback. And that could be something like a DGen 382 or 618, and then some kind of pump, or you can start looking at some macro pullback levels. Now, the first one for me, I'm going to give you two levels. One of them is maximum DGen, and this one is here, 2,530. That is max DGen level number one. That's a must hold, bounce now, cut it off, and send us through that 200-day, and then we play the game up there after that. Okay, so 2,533, that is what you're going to be watching. Then a little bit lower down, and this is now super bullish, 236 fib, 2,400. Watch that region. That for me are those for me are the two levels there when ETH stays bullish and it has a chance of blowing through that 200-day MA in the near future. Okay, and I'm talking like this week or something like that. So we banking on that 2533, 2412. If you disagree and you believe it's going to go lower, well, you're not wrong. The signs are there. It's bearish. And if you're sitting well in profit, you have the opportunity now to take profit just under the 200-day MA in ETH and sit back and perhaps wait for a lower move. Now, this is the same decision we need to make every single time, and that is why I open some head shorts. That is why I take profit on some of these things, and we try and cover ourselves where possible for these pullbacks. Now, obviously, if your strategy is net long and you're sitting in a couple of shorts, then there's only so far this pullback can go. So we still need to have a bias that we're going to hold 382s or 618s on any dips, and I'm going to cover you with some of that as well. Now, Neaton is really active in the chats today. He's sending us even lower at the moment. Now, let's talk SOL, and SOL continues to dominate social mentions among the cryptocurrencies made in the US, according to Lunar Crush. Okay, I think that makes sense. It's the most popular L1 at the moment, but let's see how SOL is doing versus BTC at the moment. So you can see we've got a bullish divergence print on the weekly, and things are looking a little bit better from that front. You can see our cash flow is starting to turn higher. That is tilting to the upside. So things are looking decent for SOL versus Bitcoin. But what we have noticed is we've bounced off major support, and now we are pushing into major resistance. Is this a warning bell for us? Is this saying, well, watch out, we could be coming down? That could be signs, obviously, of some kind of pullback. So obviously for me, I'd like to see one more burst out of this, out of the SOL BTC, and I'd love to see the push into that 200-day MA. So that should give us a couple more % out of SOL versus BTC, and that should give us a SOL run up at least into, say, 220 and those types of levels. So that would be the ideal plan before they come and absolutely rinse us at the moment. But the warning bells are there. We are pushing into a resistance band now on SOL versus Bitcoin. And the same is coming into play now on the SOL USDT chart, and we are in the break zone. And we were saying yesterday, we want to go to that new town called Ape Town, but we can only really go there once we start blowing above that 200-day MA. So this is going to be absolutely key for us. And it's the same situation that ETH finds itself in at the moment as well. And we really just need that one more catalyst, that one more push to get us through that area. But you can see this candle at the moment looking like a little bit of an indecision candle at the moment, a little bit of wick to the upside, wick to the downside, almost wait and see as to what is going to happen next. So big resistance here for us at SOL. 180 region is the big one for us. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this, and I've been playing this game in Hackers today. You can always zoom out for the bigger context. If you like to take, one position every now and again, then you can go in on things like 2-hour, 4-hour time frames, and you can maybe get a couple of trades a week out of those things, and then you can go absolute savage degen and look for trades per day. And I've broken Sol down into 3 different scenarios for you. So you've just had you've had your first look at the Sol bigger picture play. There it is. Okay, so you can see the context of your big levels. 150 is a major Solana level here that we can pay attention to. Then you can go into slightly more degen levels here, and it's the same play as ETH that we're watching. If we're going to get some kind of catalyst here this week, I would really like to see Sol hold some key levels. Now, we don't have to get too greedy if we're playing the slightly bigger picture situation, but you can see my first banger is sitting at 168. That makes sense to me. VWAP 382 horizontal. That's my first banger that tells me we should get some kind of reaction there. But what type of reaction is it? Is it a lower high? And are they going to then drop us a little bit lower? So I am looking still at this scenario playing out. 168 on the table for us, and then a low at 158 looking like a possibility as well. Even a little push slightly lower there. You can see we got some action just below that level. So 158 to 153, that type of area does make sense to me in terms of a 4-hour chart. So anybody waiting for the 4-hour higher conviction reversal play, you can see we've got work cut out for us. We got time here, and this might take a while before we get some kind of reversal on the 4-hour. Okay, so remember, these bigger picture moves, sometimes they take a very long time to play out, but in between, you can get the shorter time frame pumps, and all that typically does is create bearish divergence on the higher time frame. So if we get another pump now on a lower time frame and Sol prints a new high, for example, it's just typically going to print a bearish divergence on Sol, and it's going to add more to our power to send it down later on. Okay, so right now, that is the picture I'm looking at on the 4-hour time frame for those of you that are patient enough to wait. And there's our 200-day MA, a little fake out through the upside so far. Okay, now let's go a little bit lower into Sol, and this is where I went a little bit filthy into Hackers earlier today, and I actually said to the guys, you might want to take a shower after this. I said, degen play for Sol, make sure you use soap afterwards, because sometimes if you're going to get so dirty, you need to make sure that you do wash yourself off if you are going to play these games with us, especially these degen games on occasion. So where's my Sol chart? There it is. There it is. Okay. And this was it. So from earlier today. So we had our first degen play. Now remember, I've explained this to you guys a couple of times, and in a downtrend after a pump, and you get the downtrend, you typically get opportunities off these types of bounce zones, and you start this downtrend and it goes all the way down, and eventually one of these things breaks the trend, and then you can get a nice push to the upside. Now, that degen play that I dropped today in Hackers was a typical drop onto 177. It was VWAP, Quantum Reactor, 382. Nice little reversal print here on the 30-minute oscillator, and it gives you a nice little pump. Okay, you get a nice little 2.5% pump for guys like Jason that love a little pump there, a little pump action there, and that is what we got out of Sol. But now typically you start this downtrend, so then you can start looking at your next zone, and you can see our next zone hit as well, and that is the 175 region. And look at that, bang into the zone, little horizontal 0.5, another reversal print there, and now maybe another push up for Sol on a degen basis. So there's always action in between these big moves. So if you're trading slightly higher time frames, but you're looking for some fun along the way, these are the types of games you can play while there is a downtrend. You can do this all day long and start tracking these lower time frame reversals. Now remember, I teach a lot of this stuff in the accelerator course, so just sign up for the course. We're going live in 4 days again for the workshops, and I'll cover a lot of these things, and you'll see how to build these areas and how to understand these reaction zones and these hot zones that I always talk about, and I integrate all of this together for you guys. Okay, so right now you can see degen plays. These are your little levels, ping, ping, ping. And your next one potentially for Sol later on is going to be 172 on this degen setup. So if we do push higher, you might have a situation like that, bang, and you could be playing at 172 later on today. Okay, so something to watch there for the degens if you want to play those types of games. Now, let's talk about some shit coinery going on at the moment. And I'm in a spell short, and this was courtesy of DJ 𝗵𝗔𝗟𝗍 in Hackers, and I'm going to take you through that setup in a second. It makes a lot of sense the way he's built it, the way he set it up, and easy exit as well. Very simple exit plan on this thing. Then I've got a couple of other things going on here. Short Sol, nice hedge play. Short 𝗵𝗵𝗍 as a hedge play. You can see I'm balls deep in 𝗵𝗵𝗍 long here at the bottom. Literally was flat earlier, so I see we are getting a bounce again. And Link, I've still got the big Link long. Virtual, I'm still backing for bigger things at the moment, and I'm covered here on BTC at the moment. So you can see I'm in a spell short. My entry is 6851, and let's just look at 𝗵𝗔𝗟𝗍 setup quickly, and then we'll discuss some possible exit plans. Now, Chaos was telling me there might be a spell liquidity issue, and they are delisting on some exchanges. So there might be a little bit of a, what do we call it, a curveball in the way at the moment with spell. So what I would suggest is make sure you are exercising extreme caution, and you can see I haven't aped in. I've got $20,000 short at the moment. It's not an ape size position. Don't want to get absolutely rinsed because they got liquidity issues or whatever the hell is going on there with spell at the moment. And Make Money Travel Enjoy says she's also in a spell short, just entered on alarm before. Okay, so let's just take a look at it. So 𝗵𝗔𝗟𝗍, our gun trader, in there as well, and he's dropped this one yesterday. I believe he took it on his Zoom that he does for the hackers. He said he started a spell short. Why? Daily bearish divergence, bearish order block 4 hour, 10 hour, makes sense. Testing value area high, banger, rejecting from the 100-day MA. So a lot of reasons in the way as to why spell could potentially fall over, and he's broken it down really nicely here, and you can see his exit plan is 7212. That looks like the plan. So a close above 7212 makes a lot of sense to me there. On that one, let's just make sure our close is above that 7212. Okay, so you might look, if you are able to watch this one live, you might want to close this one manually in case there is one more wick to the upside to clean out some late shorters or whatever. But 7212 makes sense there as the exit plan. And then the targets, well, guys, if you're in Hackers, you can see the targets that he's got there. Anybody else? Remember, there's tons of the stuff coming in Hackers for you all the time. Okay, and now let's talk about some things we haven't spoken about in a couple of days. Let's go and 𝗬𝗍 long. Okay, whoa, let's see. Did I miss the boat? God, let's take a 𝗬𝗍 long. Okay, shall we take a 𝗬𝗍 long here, James? Not all at once, James. Not all at once. Okay, let's see. This is what it will look like, guys. Okay, if you want to nibble at the 𝗬𝗍 at the moment, okay, you got about a 1.5% risk. I'd say extreme upside. It's a tiny trade. It's like a 4%er, potentially. Higher time frame 𝗬𝗍. Why is this interesting? Higher time frame bounce zone. But look at that. We are bearish on the 8 hour. Look at that, head and shoulders. So we might get a short-term bounce, but I'm still expecting lower on 𝗬𝗍. Look at this. We're waiting for our reset. So that exact game that I've just showed you on Sol, you might be able to get that on the lower time frames if you don't mind taking a cold shower later on. Yes, sir.
I'm pushing buttons. Win stop.
Okay, well, let's take it. Let's go on L-Bank here. Market. Let's go 5. Okay, and then we can just add. If it starts breaking trend, we're going to add to this thing. Okay, so there we go. We are long 𝗬𝗍 here. Okay, you can see I'm still running the short. It's $2,400 up. It's $46,000 short. This is a short-term play, maybe into that short zone. Let's see, we can maybe add to that short because the context of the market says 𝗬𝗍 is potentially bearish. Okay, so head and shoulders, looking for a pullback, all these types of things. There's levels lower down. So if we start losing those levels, that's cool. And then we can play the degen game in between. Okay, so I'm long 𝗬𝗍 here. Let's take a look. If we start breaking this trend, what we're going to do is keep it super simple here. If you start breaking the trend, okay, pop, then you're going to bang your stop under the breakout candle. You can add a little bit more when you start breaking trend. Then you want to wait for the rejection. You typically get some kind of pullback, and then you reload over there. And if it's not a fake out, the bulls step in and it prints a higher low and off you go. Okay, so it's a 3-phase situation here. So I'm nibbling on 𝗬𝗍. A little bit more if we break trend, then wait for the pullback. Add if the bulls are really going to come in, that's where they're going to come in, and then you're going to look for that ride higher. Things in our favor, bullish divergence, double print, blue dot, things like that, telling us that it might bounce, and then also helping us higher time frame, big bounce zone. So now we can see we got a little bounce zone here, not looking for too much. We can see that right shoulder is a problem. So all we want to do is simply just ride this thing up a couple of percent here and then maybe come back down, that type of thing. Okay, and 𝗬𝗍 looks toppy on higher time frame, 100%. Okay, 100%, Matt, and that is why I'm sitting in that bigger short, looking for lower on 𝗬𝗍. Okay, so let's put in our stops. Our first stop option Look at this, gonna get rinsed out of the gates. Our first stop option 3.848. Okay, so let's add it on LBank. 3.848, 3.848. Okay, it's a hard stop there. Bang. Okay, stop is in. Now, if this thing gets momentum, we add. If it drops down there, we get rinsed, and then we look back and we say, okay, higher time frame, potentially coming lower. Okay, so simple game plan here for us on 𝗬𝗍. Let's get into where was I? Oh, I was talking about this. Okay, top 10 crypto DeFi projects by development. Directional indicators represent each project's ranking positioning since last month. Number one, Chainlink. Okay, did the stocks just get dumped, James? What was that comment there? Previous comment? Massive drop on stacks. Oh, okay. I wonder, James, will you check if there's news there? Maybe we can just bang out that stacks chart just now. Okay, Chainlink number 1 and Injective number 8. I thought, let me feature these two today. And obviously Chainlink's relevant to me because I've got a big one. But Injective blockchain just reached an all-time high, 7.1 million daily transactions. I asked the question again. Who do you know that actually uses this shit? Is it bots? I don't know. Can somebody tell me who uses Injective? Why would you use it? I don't get it. But anyway, we trade it. And Injective says there are 5 million reasons to lock in this week. Something big is coming. Maybe it's a massive dump. Who knows? Okay, let's talk Injective. And you can see on the 8 hour, I've mapped this out pretty simply for you. And what you're going to see now from me is two options. Okay, you're going to see the high time frame, then you're going to see the degen setup that I have for you guys, just in case there's going to be a plot twist in the market and they are going to ramp the shit up later. Yes, sir.
69% drop on stacks. Jeez. I see tons of tweets here and everything about it. Can't find a reason. People are saying, oh, here's another rug, blah, blah, blah. But I don't see a particular reason why, but it's a big drop.
Okay, so that's been around for a long time, guys. We're going to pull it. We'll pull that chart out. Okay. Okay. So, guys, there's two options right now. When you see on a higher time frame, if you see a token pumping under major resistance, there's always an opportunity and a very bullish opportunity. If it's going to start forming a flag, then you can sometimes get that pop to the upside. Okay, so that is the type of breakout that you want to play, and that tells you that there could be another trade coming, and that trade is always to your next major reaction zone. So if you want to take on that risk on a breakout play, you wait for that consolidation, then you get that pop, and then you get the next opportunity for about a 15% upside. So that is always your option. When you hit major resistance, you typically want to look for a pullback, because by the time you hit major resistance, you often see the higher time frame saying they want to roll over, it wants to fall over, and things like that. But occasionally you can get one more pump out of it. So in terms of looking at the higher time frame, saying, okay, if the market falls over, am I ready and prepared to buy Injective lower? And if I am, where am I going to buy it? Okay, so first area for you, 12.2, watch that zone. And then absolute banger area for you, 10.9. These are the two high conviction zones for me, where I think we get decent bounces out of these things. You might find a daily reset down here. You might find a 4 or 8 hour reset down here. Both of them can give you decent sized moves off those levels. So watch that. 12.2 and 10.9 are making the most sense to me at the moment for Injective if it rolls over. Now, what if there's a plot twist in the market? What if you think, wow, they're going to squeeze this first and they're going to go to all-time highs? How can I play this? Well, here's a typical degen play for you guys, and I've broken Injective down into the 15-minute war zone, basically. Okay, so we've zoomed in. You see this little cluster here that I've highlighted. We've now zoomed into this thing, and we've said, okay, if there's going to be a breakout, we know that we are sitting at major resistance right now on Injective. That's our weekly resistance band. And we know that if we can crack this level, we get a possible 15% pump to the upside. Now, how can we take advantage of this type of area without putting ourselves at too much risk and starting to plan a type of position? So the first place you can look is, say, this could be the flag low, and you can start watching this area. So if you drop into 13, you can have a little nibble here. If there is momentum, you're typically going to find this thing starts breaking a trend, and then it starts working its way up. So you can add little bits to this trade, and then ultimately you're going to get back to this trend, and that is going to be your decision time on Injective. Does it start ripping through, or does it start going, reversing and dropping to those lower levels? So if you want to speculate on the flag, you can grab it early at the lows. You're just sniffing around at 13, see how it goes. Your exit plan obviously is going to be below this guy over here. Okay, if you start closing under this 12.8, it starts looking a little bit darker, and that we might start losing some levels. So watch that. You're looking for that structure. And there is a chance that if the market turns bullish after that dump and you get a nice rejection on dominance as well, then Injective can start making its way up to the flag, and then you are in control of the trade. So by the time you get up here and you start breaking this thing, you can really start aping in. You can really start adding some proper size to that. So that's your high risk degen play, and then this is your low risk reasonable area that makes a lot of sense to me here, looking at the higher time frame stuff on these charts. Okay, let's go Link as well, and Link, same play, guys. It's exactly the same play. Link on the 8-hour, bearish divergence. You can see here these reversal prints in play. So bracing myself for some downside on Link. You can see cash flow coming down. We have had that before, and we had a dip on Link there. Okay, so very similar situation on the 8-hour. This is now on the cards for us. So levels for Link, 16.15, 15. Those are the bangers. These are the banger zones there. 16.15, 15 makes the most sense to me at the moment. Obviously, as time progresses and as things start dipping, we can start taking a closer look on a more degen level. But for me right now, those are the levels for Link where I think we get some kind of nice bounce. Notable again, 200-day MA rejection. And is stack scam work only on spot? That's an interesting one. Okay, so guys, that is Link for you, and upside targets remain the same. 200-day MA 17.6, and then we've got the 19.8 level. That makes a ton of sense there for us as well. Now let's go through some speed shitcoins. Okay, I've got speed shitcoin delivery coming in hot for you guys. Okay, number one, Bonk. Here we go. Bonk on the 1 hour. Where's my first possible reversal zone? Down here to 0.212. 0.212 up to about 0.207. Okay, Bonk. There you go. Remember, these charts all go straight into Chart Hackers directly after the show for you. So first degen bounce zone for Bonk, locked in. Okay, shitcoin 1, shitcoin 2, Brett. Oh, I mean, I love Brett. I'm kind of partial to Brett. First zone, 0.069 and 0.0556. Both of those make the most sense to me. Looking for a dip. This is Brett on the 8-hour, by the way. Looking for this dip. Want this thing to nicely reverse for us. We want this thing to push lower and give us a nice strong reversal so we can get a continued play on Brett. Okay, so those are the Brett levels. You've got them 0.069 and 0.0556. Make the most sense to me. Notable again, guys, 200-day MA rejection. Okay, and Brett to $10. That would be, jeez, that would be fantastic, Jason. Thank you for that. Smash the likes. Okay, let's look at Popcat. And what do we got here? 0.493. Okay, that's a nice one for me. 0.493 on Popcat. We've got order block. We got VWAP. We got a nice 0.5. We got trend in that zone as well. And then your next one is 0.4422. Okay, those are your short-term 4-hour reversal zones on poppies, and looking for this guy over here. Okay, looking for this move there, drop into that zone and bang. Okay, so that is what we're looking for on Popcat. This will be in Hackers for you guys. Then Peppy today. This was an interesting one. So, and this is exactly my point that I was talking about earlier today and yesterday, when you start chasing the breakouts and they don't work. Okay, and my message to hackers today was, guys, play a few, don't play too many. I just was getting that feeling that we were going to get fucked around today. Okay, lots of chopping and things like that. And Peppy was no different. Okay, so here was the setup. There were two major bounce zones that I liked in terms of my reversal zones. And then as the day started going on, we started getting an opportunity for a possible trend break on Peppy. So as you can see here, classic fake out. Look at this. So we got our reversal of the first zone. They start pushing through the trend, and what do? They reject it, and the bulls are nowhere. The bulls are absolutely nowhere. So instead of sending it up, they come and they rinse you. Now this, if you chart trading only breakouts, if trading breakouts is your only strategy, you're going to come short when the market starts rolling over like this. So then your option is to sit back and do nothing and wait for the bigger time frame reversals, or start learning how to trade some reversal plays and things like that off these types of levels that I give you guys. Okay, so right now you can see Peppy is faked out. Now we're drifting lower. Interesting place for us on Peppy is this is our bounce now or cut it off level. Okay, so we are sitting at the horizontal, looking a little bit bearish now on the 30 minutes. You can see head and shoulders in play. Okay, that's our right shoulder there. There's our left shoulder, and it's threatening to start dropping into that level. So big level for me for the bounce later on, guys. Note 200-day MA, big level here. with 0 point, multiple zeros, 1287. Watch that one. If we do eventually fall over, 1287 is what you're going to be watching on Peppy, and that's going to tie in with this bigger picture that you see here. So lots of horizontal there for you guys. And then in terms of short term, you can see we've got multiple reversal prints. Okay, so that is interesting here. Just be careful. We've had one of those already today. There was a fake out. This could be another example of a fake out, and there could be some more rinsage. Don't get into a position where, you know, you keep trading a breakout, and you drop all the way down, and then it hits that 200-day, and you think, fuck, I've wasted 5 bullets on this one, and I could have just waited for lower. So just be safe with yourselves as to how you go about trading these things. What else we got here? Oh, virtual. This is a banger. Okay, so virtual's been in an interesting zone here for us. Very tight range here to the upside, as you can see, and it's basically making a decision soon. They're either going to come and absolutely rinse us on virtual, or they're going to give us one guard mode pump to 2.43 or this 2.63. Now, it's anyone's guess what happens next on virtual, but for me, you know, lower the range. We play the lows of the range, and you can play the highs of the range until it breaks. Okay, so there's our upside, there's our downside. If you pump into there, could be a TP zone. If you drop into there, could be a long zone, okay, until we lose that range. So right now, virtual traders support 184 is a bounce zone for me. 184, watch that area. I've got backup lower down 174. Okay, so 184, 174, those are the main zones for me on virtual. Watch that closely. You can see lower time frame printing double divergence again, like they want to go again, but we're going to be handled by BTC. BTC is going to call the shots, and right now for me, that's what I can give you on virtual. How's Sui? Are we getting rinsed? Yeah, we're getting rinsed. And what have we got going here? I've got an ETH head short, my ETH long that I longed the top and added, 5 times yesterday. That's flat. So we're going to try and ride that one down. Sui short cover and Sol long. Okay, so yeah, Sol we can add on those dips. Let's see if we go. My average entry on Sol's 154. So not in a rush to do anything yet. We can add if we start dipping on Sol on that guy. Okay, there's Sui. Okay, rinsage coming. Okay, guys, you got the stops. Be safe there. Let's talk S as well. This thing's also bearish. S on the 8 hour. Look at that. Super bearish there. Looking to fall over. Okay, coming down. And right now, this was the plan yesterday. We were looking at a pump, and then I said we're still bearish as long as we're under these lows. So for me, the next big zone, 54 is what you're going to be watching for Sonic. Okay, 54 for Sonic. That makes sense in the context of this chart at the moment. If we start drifting lower, we'll start planning lower levels. But right now, we're just going to play the game, play the rising trend, bang, 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 and we're looking for the bounce there off that guy. Let's quickly look at stacks, guys. That's obviously a bit of a situation.
Looks like it's gone down and recovered already, but look at that friggin' wick.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
how's that happen on such a big token? On a shitcoin, I get, but Stacks has been around forever. That's a big one.
Nice and long. Not anymore.
Imagine catching the bottom of that.
Oh my God. Let's see what the perps look like.
Well, yeah, someone said it was only on spot.
Maybe it's a mistake. Yeah, maybe it's not a real thing. Okay, but while we're looking at it, guys, okay, let's look at it. Let's do this quickly. Let's build you an entry. Stacks runs with BTC. Nice little play, as you know. And let's see. Let's just put together a little hot zone here so we prep for later. A little bit lazy with that one, but let's see what we got here. Okay, cool. Look at some big zones here. Yeah, that's nice there. And then I just want to see where that 382 is. That looks fun. Okay, that looks nice to me. Obviously, it's a hell of a sell-off if it does go there, guys, obviously. Yeah, okay, and then you got cover over there. Okay, so that makes sense to me as well. Okay, so stacks doesn't look like an issue on the perps. 845 and 775 makes sense to me. And I mean, look, this isn't a great picture either if you get something like that. I mean, we looked at this. What was the other token we saw yesterday? Oh, this market could be turning gross. Okay, we'll talk about that later. All I can say is best after that next pullback bounce, we print new highs. Okay, or alt season is over. Okay, we're going back. What do they call it? They call it Goblin Town.
Goblin Town. One thing to keep in mind here too, tomorrow, PPI,
yes.
Tomorrow, employment numbers, tomorrow, Powell speaks. So That
It's a
may
good
be
day to be-
chopping up sideways, waiting on this stuff to come out. We may see nothing today, one way or the
Good
other.
day
Just
to be
chop
bearish. Be bearish. Oh, guys, and another note. Be bearish. I've closed half my Pendle trade. Okay, so I've banked half those Pendle profits. I'm now $23,000 long. I've closed slightly. It was almost half. Okay, that I've closed on Pendle, and I've banked $3,300. Okay, so there we are at the moment, and we're just going to let it play out. So Pendle, I believe we're going to get a monster move at some point, 44%. Just wanted to bank some profits there after tapping that 4.39 level. Looked like a nice resistance zone. Okay, so Pendle, let's look lower. Hash tomorrow we dump, bro. I'm not against it. I'm not against it, guys. It could be a nice flush out for the market. Let's see how it goes. Just don't get caught like constantly trading breakouts. Zoom out, look for the big levels, trade the big levels. You've got a ton of big levels from me now. Hackers, you obviously got loads more if you are sitting in there. And guys, just be safe. Don't overtrade. The momentum comes back, and then we're going to be laughing and sharing our P&Ls and doing this a lot more. Okay, hang in there. Yes, traveling man. Thank you, sir. Okay, see you guys later.